So when I'm designing a new logo, I do one of three things. I either hire a contractor, I design it myself, or now I let AI design it for me.
So how do you know which one to do?
Right. So there's pros and cons to each one. Now, when you're hiring a contractor, what's nice is you can use a website like Fiverr or Upwork, which is a website designed for contractors to put up their profile, what they do, their prices, their reviews, and you can go through what they offer and then pay them for an individual job, which is really nice because if you need just a logo or maybe a website design, you can just hire a one-off job and you can see what they've previously done, see their reviews, see different examples, and from there, and their pricing, and then from there, decide which route to go for which contractor.
What's kind of like the pricing range on those?
So for logo design, you could get really cheap because some of it's in other countries. So it's like foreign workers that are offering, like there's a lot from India, there's a lot from pretty much everywhere. But then if you hire more US based ones, they're usually more expensive.
Gotcha.
So it does range a lot. So like for logo design, you can find them for $50 to get a new logo, which is nice and cheap.
Yeah.
But that also has some drawbacks versus like the ones that have that are maybe cost you $250. It's like they'll have more revisions, they'll offerings, they'll give you more formats. There's a bunch of different perks there too. So there's three reasons, obviously, that I would hire a contractor. If you really want a professional look and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't really even know the idea of what I want for one, I just know I need one. This will help because you can see their designs, you can see how they do it there, because each designer, just like an artist, has a different style. So you can check out the different styles and pick which style you like. The next would be it saves time. You got things to do. You're a business owner. So do you really want to spend that time trying to design a logo, or do you want to hire it out so you can keep working on your business, right? So it saves you time from trying to learn certain software and design it yourself. The last is options galore, right? So you can browse a bunch of different portfolios, pricing, talk to the different people, see if you vibe together to see if it's the right fit, and you can pick who you want to hire. Now, some cons to Upwork is obviously you can have inconsistent quality. You can hire somebody for $50 and it could be terrible. I've hired contractors on there for digital design stuff and it was horrendous. And I had to go through an appeal process, get my money back. So there is that. I've also hired people for digital design that were amazing, and I still work with them, and I still send them work because they were so good. So there's a kind of testing out process of.
You're gonna probably go through more than one.
Yeah,
person.
you may try two people before, which if that's the case, it just takes you even more time because if you need a logo now, it's like, well, they already take quite a few days to design it and get it done. Usually it's like, from my experience, it's been at least a week and then you finally get it back. And then you have to go and maybe do some revisions, which is another con in some aspect, is that you have limited revisions. Depending on who you hire, it could just be one or two revisions, which means like you have one chance or two chances to be like, oh, I don't like this. Please change these things. And so instead of just saying one thing that you don't like, you have to actually be specific on everything at one time. So that way the next one hopefully is what you like.
And you need a lot more revisions than you would think.
Yeah. You think you're like, oh yeah,
two is fine. Yeah,
but
no, you need like
more than that.
Way more.
And so then you'd have to pay for that, which most of them be like, yeah, I offer more revisions for another $50 a revision. It's like,
it starts to add up.
Right.
Yeah.
So next would be designing it yourself. You can use software like Canva. You can use other software that is more budget friendly, that you can spend the time yourself, learn the software, or if you already know the software, this is perfect because you already know how to work around the software. You can do it yourself. The nice thing about it is you have creative control, right? You get to, if you have a vision in your head already where you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about I already know exactly what I want. This may be perfect for you, especially if you have just a little bit of knowledge on how to use the softwares.
Right.
The other ones is that like Canva, they have a logo generation tool, but they also have templates that you go
How
in.
is their logo generation tool?
So I think their logo generation tool is not the best, but if it's something simple and you're like, I don't need anything crazy, it can work. It also can give you that base idea of like, okay, this is kind of what I want. And so from here, I can take it into a place like Fiverr and submit it. So if you're like, okay, this is kind of what I want, but it's not quite there. Maybe if I hire somebody, but I can give them kind of a template of like, hey, this is kind of what I've thought.
It would reduce the number of revisions for sure.
Right. So now some cons of Canva is that they're not truly unique. Like if you make a logo on there, anybody can make that same logo because you're kind of stuck within a framework, right? You can't just completely redesign and shape things out. Like you're kind of piecing together from shapes and from fonts and things that they offer, and that's how you're making it. So it's not extremely creative, if that makes sense. Like you are limited on what you can do, but Canva is free. They have a paid version as well, but Canva is cheap. And if you want the premium, I believe it's $10 a month.
Yeah, I think we looked it up. Cheap. It was like $120 a year per person.
Yeah, so it's not expensive either way. And the last thing is like if you don't know how to use Canva at all or the other digital design softwares, and you're like, oh, I want to do it, the learning curve can be steep. Yeah. Canva is a pretty user-friendly software, but if you've never even jumped on it before, it could be daunting. So just know that going in, like you have creative control, but you're going to be spending more time on that than obviously hiring somebody. The last, I think, is kind of, it's almost like the best of both worlds in a sense of using ChatGPT for image generation. Now, we've started doing this a lot, just playing around with it because it's getting really, really good with the AI. Yeah. First of all, you can use ChatGPT as like idea generation. So before you even dive into creating the logo, you can ask ChatGPT, hey, what are some ideas for a logo for a coffee shop that I'm about to run where I want the aesthetic to be kind of like classic cafe racer motorcycle, or you know what I mean? You could come up with an idea in your head of like, this is kind of what my coffee shop to be like. Give me some ideas for the logo, and it can pop out 5. You can even tell it specifically, I want 10 or 5 ideas. And then from there, you're like, ooh, I really like this one. And then you take that and have it create the logo from there. And it can be really effective.
And one nice thing about ChatGPT now is that it'll export a transparent background with the logo. So you can put it over.
So it's not just a flat photo.
You don't have like a white background or even a black background, and it doesn't go everywhere that you want it to go.
Right. And so the next highlight would be streamlines the process, right? Like you were literally typing in, hey, this is what I want. Generate this for me, and it pops it out within minutes. Versus if you hire somebody or if you're making it yourself, which then you have to design it yourself and build it yourself. But if you're hiring somebody, it's going to take a week to come back when this takes minutes. Right. And it's like, that's pretty awesome.
Well, and I've done the Upwork and Fiverr, and like you can wait days in between revisions. You just have a small revision you want to make. You could wait days.
Yep, you definitely can.
You're just like, I just want this now. Right. So ChatGPT is a really great option for that because you can get really quick turnaround for that.
And they have a new editing tool where when inside the photo, you can click on the photo and say, highlight a specific part of the photo and say, hey, I want this edited.
In ChatGPT?
Yeah, in ChatGPT. It's really
I have not seen that.
Yeah, I'll have to show a little video of it. It's really cool. And so you can say like, I want this changed. And it's like a little highlight tool.
That's exactly.
And then it'll come through and edit it.
That's exactly what it's needed. Yeah. Because then you don't have to describe it as accurately.
Yeah, or when you highlight it, instead of trying to be like, we've done a pirate with a sword and it was like sticking through someone's hat, you could just highlight that part, the sword, and say, hey, move this over so it's not through the hat. Yeah. Instead of being like, this pirate is holding this sword, like, you don't have to do the whole step. Right. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, obviously, you get creative direction for free, right? Like you literally can talk to ChatGPT. It can give you advice and ideas, and then you can go through and tweak it as you go. And it's a great tool. It's very quick. And it's nice. Now, a con from it is that it is $20 a month for the premium to get the logo creation tool for it. But if you're a small business, you can pay $20, get the first month, and then after that, if you don't need it, just cancel
Go back
it.
to the free
which
version.
is free.
Which
now,
$20 a month is going to be cheaper than most options out there. Canva will be a little bit cheaper, but I think with the limitations that it provides, I think it'd probably be worth.
Well, and you're going to be spending well over an hour plus on to design it on Canva versus the $10 you'd save with Canva versus ChatGPT. It's like you're going to get it done so quick versus that. Now, lastly, the kind of con about it is that it can export in PNG because it can do transparent backgrounds, which is great. But if you need like an SVG file, which is a vector file that you can blow up without getting pixelated, it doesn't do that yet. So you're still going to have to know other software to take that into and to export it different ways. And then also,
and if you don't know how to do that, you can hire somebody. And at that point, if you have exactly what you want, it'd be very cheap to get somebody.
Because then they literally just drag it to a software and then just cut it out and do it. It would that would be very cheap. So that's a great point. Yeah. Then the last thing is like if you don't know what to input into ChatGPT, like if you're ChatGPT kind of has a language to talk to it. Like we use it all the time, so it's pretty easy. But for us, it's like if you don't never use ChatGPT, you have to be specific a lot of the time. Like if you're like, hey, I want this changed, but you're not specific about exactly what part of it you want this changed, it could just completely change the logo. And then you're like, well, no, that's not what I wanted. Then you're going back and you're trying to be more specific. So just make sure that you're clear on your input.
Cool. And I think no matter what route you go, I think there's a few things that are very important to remember. And the one that I think is the most important is when you do get somebody to create your logo, whether that's Canva, ChatGPT, or a graphic designer, you take that logo, you upload it to Google. You go to google.com, you go to image search, and then you upload that image in the search bar, and then you hit search. And you look for any logos that are out there, they're the same.
Oh, I've never thought of that. So that makes total sense.
In some of the platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, I think there's 99 Designs, things like that. There's been instances to where basically they copy other people's logos.
And just change it
there's a copyright, trademark infringement, and they
just make sure.
Cease and desist. It's just a mess. So make sure that there's a logo that's not a registered trademark and isn't close to like a competitor or something like that. So just be aware, like not all ideas that we have as creatives are going to be 100% unique.
Yeah, right.
There's things that you see out there and you design and it's kind of like subliminal, you know?
Yeah, right.
And there's a lot of unintentional mistakes like that.
Yeah.
You know, so to do that, but also when designing, you always want to make sure you're designing in black and white. Yeah. You need to make sure it looks good. And if you're just printing it out black and white, you need to make sure it looks good. Yeah. So we have dark backgrounds, light backgrounds. You want to make sure that your logo looks good on those, and also a color version. Yeah. And when it comes to logo design, the more simple, the better. Yeah. And so you want to make sure that when you do hire somebody, if you hire somebody, you ask, I need a black and white version, I need a color version, and I also need the source file, which is the program that they designed it in. A lot of times this can be Adobe Illustrator. Yeah. And so you want that Illustrator file to be part of the deliverables.
And that's going to be your basically master copy of your logo. So you're going to keep that on a hard drive somewhere where you can, because first of all, you can edit it, but also it'll be that file. That's the editable file that you'll be able to keep forever that you can make tweaks to if you need to.
Definitely.
Thanks for listening. Every week we go over news, tips, tricks, and best practices to help you grow your small business. So follow and subscribe below.
For more information, check out our website at launchingpros.com, where you get access to a bunch of free resources and courses designed to launch and grow your business online. Check out the links below.